Hello, class. Today I'm going over Chapter 14, Marketing, Part 2. Today we're talking about marketing platforms and tools. So you've decided to create a marketing campaign and you need to choose media to use. Now, how are you going to choose this media? Well, it depends on your goals. Who is your target market? Who is your target audience? Think about what kind of funding you have available. Do you have enough funding to develop a better, longer video for YouTube, or would you be better off doing a short yet impactful 5-second video? How long are you expecting this campaign to last? And also think about what your client needs. Remember, you need to satisfy both their needs and the needs of your target audience. So you want to ask them what they envision for this project. Now, when it comes to marketing platforms and tools, we have tons to choose from. And of course, these are ones also related to various types of advertising campaigns. So we can generally group marketing platforms and tools into three categories: paper, digital, and audio and video. Now, when we talk about paper, this means things like one-sided mailers. So if you've ever checked the mail at your house or your apartment, you'll see these kinds of mailers, the flyers that you see posted around campus, brochures, so those little fold-out things, as well as advertorials. So advertising that's disguised as a traditional news article, so advertising articles, advertorials, as well as traditional magazine and newspaper ads. And emails are also considered part of the paper category since they do follow a similar format. Now, digital, when we talk about digital, this is where we look at things like native advertising. So, those ads that are disguised as traditional forum posts or Instagram posts, that kind of thing. That's native advertising. It's trying to hide itself and look like the same thing as a normal post that you would see from someone you're following on social media. Banner ads. So, those ads that a lot of us have at least partially blocked using ad blockers, or ones that pop up and will scroll with you on the phone. Those are banner ads. Sponsored content would be another kind of ad. So whenever it says usually they have really salacious headlines like, "You won't believe what Prince so and so is doing now," that kind of thing. And it has some kind of really poorly photoshopped photo on it. That's a kind of sponsored content ad. And of course, we also have targeted advertising. So those cookies and things are collected to see what and other data that you put out every time you go on the internet, or since we carry phones with us everywhere, when you walk somewhere, if you go into a store, they usually kind of ping off your phone to see what you're doing, that kind of thing. So you have ads specifically targeted to where you are or what you're doing. And occasionally there will be some crossover with targeted advertising into the paper or audiovisual realm. For example, if you've ever gone on a shoe website or other kinds of websites do this too, where they have brochures that they will mail out to you after they've received a notification that you visited their website. So sometimes they will send out targeted paper ads as well. Now, final group, audio and visual materials. This is where you get into things like sponsored YouTube sponsorships or TikTok where they say like, "Hey, this ad is brought to you by Skillshare or by BetterHelp or Squarespace or whatever, whoever's paying them at the moment to do it." I know there was like one of those manscaping things that was promoting their product a lot. Same thing with the purple beds. Any of those, that's sponsored content in the audiovisual realm. You can, of course, have traditional ads that are placed both in radio and TV, as well as ones that are added to YouTube videos or that will take place before podcasts or in the middle of a longer podcast. Excuse me. Um, And we also have things like product placements that happen within audio and video. So if someone is using a product or a service, and instead of saying that part of our video is sponsored by this group, if they are just using it in a way where you can see what the product is and maybe they're mentioning it by name, you'll see that a lot in traditional product placements in television where a character will say, instead of saying, "Man, I really want a soda," they'll say, "Man, I really want a Coke." And then they'll, get one out of a vending machine, that kind of thing. So let's look at our first section, paper. Now, when we look at paper advertisements, like I said, emails are considered part of that category. And the one of the traditional emails you'll see is the email blast. And these have things like opt-in emails. That means that you signed up somewhere probably to get some kind of discount, and one of the options on it was, "Hey, let us send you some marketing emails so we can sell you more stuff because you seem to be interested in our product." So you may have clicked yes, or you may have failed to click no on it. However it happens, that's how you get junk mail. And usually this kind of email will have a strong subject line and strong in both the way it's formatted. So as you can see on here, we have the Macy's logo that's very visible. We also have their traditional red and black on that's used throughout the email. They have a big red yes button on here. And we also have like more savings in just one click. So you're able to see right away that this is um, this is their like topic, their headline. They're trying to get you to click below and confirm your email. And if you click the button, they're promising you're going to get an extra 15% off. You also have the unsubscribe option at the bottom. So we're very specific here. What are you getting? Well, it's our tagline, more savings in just one click. So our copy is very specific. Remember, copy is the wording that your target audience is going to see in the advertisement or that they're going to hear in if you're recording a radio or TV spot. And we have it highlighted also within the longer part of our email copy. It says exclusive, extra 15% off. So it's in bold, it's in a different color. It's very easy for us to see what they are trying to do here and what your call to action is. It's to click the button and buy more stuff. So it's short, tight, and to the point. Now, another way to get in touch via print is through the Windsheet mailer. Now, these can show up in the actual mail. They can also be distributed on the street. It depends on your area and also if they have any kind of anti-littering laws that have been allowed to continue to exist. So whenever we see one sheet mailers or like small flyers that are posted around campus, that kind of thing. These are usually going to have a little more information on them. In this case, they still are focusing on short, tight writing. We have one little paragraph explaining part of what's going on, but we're highlighting the primary information with titles, bold letters. It says anxiety solutions, providing immediate detox. And then we have a photo of some dude who kind of looks like he came from Die Hard, but anyway, it says his name is Dr. Johnny Kenley, and he is a physician and energy therapist. And all have another highlighted portion just below it that says keynotes, seminars, and workshops. Now, you can technically put all of the information that they have on here. However, often you want to highlight the main ideas. Again, we don't necessarily want to have a page that is just chock full of paragraphs and words, often using bullet points or those shorter news writing style paragraphs. So 1 to 3 sentences at most is going to be the ideal way to summarize information for your audience. And especially now that we live in an age of QR codes, if if you have this in a magazine or in a newspaper, it might benefit you to have only one paragraph and then say, like, more information, contact us at this phone number, or scan the QR code to visit our website. So, again, short explanations, providing very basic yet important pieces of information for your audience, especially highlighting a call to action. Now, finally, the brochure. So, a brochure is usually going to have a standard threefold style. There are some where it is the more of a little pamphlet style where it's folded and it might even be a few pages that are stapled together. Uh, but this is going to be a more detailed version than the that one sheet mailer or the email blast. We're looking at providing more of that headline, body, conclusion type of format. And we are still going to have the main headline on the front portion. So in this case, since it is a threefold mailer, we're going to figure out where the front is. And the front part is going to include some identifying information, something important to help your audience know what's going on. If you're sending this in traditional mail, they usually include the recipient's information on the back part, and it has like a little tab that they cut off and can open it to look at the information that's inside. So, copywriting tips. When you're writing copy, you need to, of course, understand your audience's needs and highlight what is important to your target audience while still satisfying your client's desires. Um, so it is a bit of a balancing act, and it does go back to some of those ideas that we talked about in public relations as well, where you are acting as a go-between between the client who is paying you and their target audience. So we're um, we're looking at the benefits and features that are here, and you want to, of course, highlight benefits and characteristics, just like we did with advertising. Demonstrate what kinds of qualities are in this product or service and why it should be important to your audience. And of course, any good copy is going to include a call to action. You want to highlight what it is you want your audience to do, whether it's call an 800 number, click on a link, or go to a location because they are having an in person sale, whatever it is, you want to explain what the audience is supposed to do with the information you just gave them. And you also need to remember to maintain a specific tone of voice. So be brand specific. Remember, branding includes emphasizing particular words or phrases, and it should reflect the style of your campaign's audience. So if we're writing copy for a few different advertising campaigns within a marketing campaign, then you want to consider changing it somewhat if you are going to advertise on social media as well as on in a traditional TV ad. So think about your medium and think about the audience related to that medium as well as your core message. So the bottom line core message, what does your audience need to do? What should they be getting out of this campaign? And when you're writing copy, as we saw with the majority of marketing and advertising, we need to keep it simple. Use that brand dictionary or word bank to help you maintain the best version of your copy. So, even whenever we are looking at something that's going to stay in house, like for employees of a particular company, make sure that you're using the appropriate language there. Same thing when we are writing, of course, for a target audience outside of the company, then you want to use that word bank and write for that particular target audience member using that the language specific to our brand. And whenever you are editing and reviewing your work, ask yourself, would I buy this? If I were part of this audience, would I find this interesting? Does this appeal to me? And that's a good way to, at least on the surface, figure out whether or not something is working. Now, here's another example advertisement. It says, yesterday you said tomorrow, and we can see by the logo and the swoosh and the just do it that this is an ad from Nike. So they are talking about, um, you know, people who are going to go out and exercise. And this is, of course, appealing to them because a lot of people, especially when you're just starting a workout regimen, you're going to gravitate toward things that are more familiar to you, which at this point, Nike is more of a household name than some other companies. And so combining their logo with the idea of like you need to go out and fulfill that promise you made to yourself about exercising today whenever you said that you would do it tomorrow. For sometimes tomorrow never comes if you keep putting it off. So just do it, Nike swoosh, etc. Now, here's another one from Doritos, and you can see the Doritos identifying logo, of course, in the bottom, and also their traditional chip shape. So it has a little Dorito chip, and it says the only love triangle you need in your life for the bold but without drama. And their background color is the same color as the Doritos nacho cheese bag. So we know right away, especially if you've had their product before, you can probably even envision remember how it tastes. Um, and so they're trying to play on emotions and memories, but also be funny about it by talking about love triangles. And so they're, referencing the triangle shape and, hey, why have drama when you can have Doritos? That kind of thing. So whenever you are developing a marketing strategy, of course, you want to consider your client's wishes, your audience's expectations, and the ability to execute your plan. Well, this especially comes into play when you try to get a little more creative. It's definitely something where you want to look and see how much time do you have available. Remember the SMART goal identifying that we did. So look at it, see if you can reasonably accomplish what it is you're trying to do in this creative marketing strategy. And within the time period that you have. Now, what are some ways that you can make something a little more creative? Well, of course, you can look at what your audience does every day and see if you can make it into something a little, tweak it a little bit so it's still something that they recognize, but maybe that they uh, that you're using it in an unusual way. Or you could look at your competitors and take their campaign and change it a little bit. So you're kind of referencing it, but also not. An example would be the Energizer Bunny. So the Energizer Bunny was born whenever from a Duracell campaign. Originally, Duracell made this Christmas campaign where they had a bunch of drummers drumming. If you're familiar with the song The 12 Days of Christmas, there's a part about 10 drummers drumming. And so they had all the little mechanical drummers coming out who were being fueled by Duracell batteries. Well, Energizer decided to make a comment related to the Duracell commercial by starting theirs in a very similar way. They had all of the little drummers come out, and then in swoops the giant Energizer Bunny drummer who, knocked all the little Duracell drummers down, and he was still going when everyone else had stopped. So this is an example of someone tweaking a campaign that already exists. Now, you can also develop new ideas. For example, there was one paper towel company that decided to install a giant paper towel in the middle of a bunch of office buildings. Now, when I say giant, I mean like house-sized paper towel roll in in this square, and they had some they made it look like the paper towels were out cleaning up a big spill on the ground. So they were able to make a joke about cleaning up a big spill with this art installation, which when you do something like that, it's more likely to get natural press coverage as well. So it would be something where it's a little more likely to be covered in an organic way instead of just in a like we made an ad and we're paying to have it played somewhere. And also consider the main idea or your tagline whenever you're figuring out how to develop a creative ad. See if maybe there's a memorable line or a catchphrase that applies. This could even be referencing a traditional catchphrase that you already have. For example, in this MasterCard ad about the Women's Golf Classic, you can see that they created a what looks like a giant tee and golf ball on a putting green. But when you look at it more closely, you can see the tee is actually the back of a high heel shoe, and the rest of the shoe is there in place of the golf ball. And since it's MasterCard, they have their like priceless campaign. So this one says the 12th annual Women's Golf Classic, priceless. And they were also sponsoring a children's aid foundation for the Golf Classic. And they included that information on the bottom as well. Now, here's another one about like resources for people who are looking to improve their marriage. And it's a so it's a full page ad, and it has the word me with the letter M surrounded by the little like cutout symbol on it. And underneath it says how to build a lasting relationship. One, cut on dotted line, and two, rotate 180 degrees. So if you were to take the M in me and follow the directions, you would see that it turns into we. And at the bottom, it says, if you want a stronger marriage, work on it together. So at the bottom, again, it says, if you want a stronger marriage, work on it together. And for tips, marriage class incentives, and resources in your area, go to strongermarriage.org. And they have their little wedding band connection thing on the bottom. So they're advertising their marriage classes and that kind of stuff. Uh, and while this is a traditional full page ad, it is a little different because they aren't directly saying what it is that's going on. Now, here are two other video creative marketing examples. So, in these two examples, the first one shot on iPhone XS. So we can see that Apple commissioned this ad and hired this person, Christopher Anderson, to create the ad and shoot everything on what at the time was their new iPhone, the iPhone XS.
I've photographed migrants to presidents to my family. I'm always approaching the image with the same set of tools and the same set of principles and perspective, no matter the subject. My roots are in documentary photography, but what I do now incorporates elements that we might think of as street photography, but is more about kind of observing life. I have a certain set of things that I've trained myself to be aware of as I'm out making pictures.
So we can see, I won't go through the whole video with you, but um, that he's giving a personal account of using the camera, and we can see him walking around some of the images and the video that this artist shot with it, as well as hear how he felt about using this product in a professional way. So the video continues and with his personal account, and we can see some of the cool things that they're implying you as the person buying the phone will be able to do if you get this product. Now, the second commercial, Good Goes Round from Cheerios, is of course, a, well, different kind of professional ad. So it's, we can see already it's much shorter. The other one was developed at 3 minutes, 10 seconds, and it has a lot more of the like personal account, almost mini documentary feel to it. This one from Cheerios is going to be more of the traditional professional style of advertisement. And we see that right from the beginning, where the Cheerios truck crosses on our screen. And the now, as you watch, you'll see that they repeat the Cheerios yellow color and also its complementary color on the color wheel, the blue that goes along with it to emphasize their product in the video. And just to back up real quick, since they don't read it out loud, the first tagline at the beginning appears. It says Cheerios is making good go round. And it continues saying by helping families who face hunger. And then they give a location, Chicago, Illinois.
We get our food from the Greater Food Depository, which is a food bank here in Chicago. And sometimes we get Cheerios from them. As soon as the kids see that Cheerios cereal box, the kids are excited to eat breakfast.
And of course, that audio was combined with images of children eating Cheerios from those little Cheerios boxes. And also, they had the bigger boxes that you see in the store laid out on the table. And you can see all the kids are wearing the complimentary blue, and all the tables are covered in yellow. And they're also outside playing games. It's a sunny day, blah, blah, blah. And they are using hula hoops and frisbees that are the same color, yellow, as the Cheerios. We have a smiley face, balloons, and other yellow balloons in here as well.
Having the kids engage in everything that Cheerios provided with us makes me feel really, really good. Good goes around and around.
So the teacher and, well, all the teachers and like one or two of the kids are in yellow. Um, but most of the people in here are wearing those blue Yippee shirts. And they also have a little cornhole thing set up with the Cheerios logo on it. It's Cheerios yellow. And they have Cheerios boxes on here too. And it says, "You can help Cheerios" at the bottom. So it has the words "you can help," and then it's right next to the cornhole thing that says Cheerios on it. And it has a hashtag at the end, "Good goes around." So they were, hoping to get that kind of positive feeling going along with their Cheerios, since it is often marketed to children and families. So, to conclude, which commercials, billboards, or other advertisements did you find most engaging? Which ones do you find really pique your interest? Or which ones did you not even really think about, but now that you've looked at some of the different marketing styles, which ones are you realizing that you see every day, or that you find another way to think about it, which ones do you find too intrusive? So think about those kinds of things as your team works together to figure out what kind of commercial or other advertisement or marketing style will work best for your products. And that is it. this was our last chapter in the book. So we are finished with all of the chapters, and I will see you in class.